Hello, we are together again for Chapter 3. For today, we will analyze international personal banking together. Now let us look what we will see in this chapter. We will examine the common aspects and key distinctive features for providing financial services to high net worth individuals and to the public. Two major international personal banking services. We will analyze real-world examples. One will be UBS Bank in international private banking and American Express, which is the international credit card in international consumer finance. What is the concept of personal banking? An individual's need for financial services will always combine demands for payment services, such as checking accounts and debit cards, loan products such as overdraft accounts, personal, auto, mortgage and home equity loans, credit card facilities, and investment or wealth management products such as saving accounts, brokerage services, asset management, and insurance. For international private banking, we will look for the shift to yield, product offering, and client coverage for the private banks. What we mean by the shift to yield? The shift in priorities by high net worth individuals away from discrete protection of accumulated wealth toward yield. These international private banks always suggest some products that are special for their private customers. What are the product offering? The range of products provided to private banking clients includes payment convenience services, personalized credit facilities, including tax-efficient financings for luxury loans, such as boats, private jets, investment products, including third-party managed investment funds, brokerage services and investment advice, financial protection solution such as life, property, health, pensioning planning, and directors and officers liability insurance. Custody services, including sale keeping, trust services, and inheritance planning. What are the payment conveniences services? It includes benefits such as a free checking account and personalized monitoring of account balance and credit card dues for internationally handled payment from clients' funds with the bank, ensuring that overdraft and interest charges are either avoided or reversed. What is the client coverage? Banks organize their coverage of wealth management clients according to region of origin and stock of wealth, with $1 million in net worth being defined generally as the minimum threshold for private banking services. Other criteria more directly related to potential revenue to be generated, such as the amount of investable assets. Banks can change the client coverage ideas for their management system. One bank can just arrange it as according to the $1 million. The other bank maybe can change this rule as maybe €1 million and so on. The competitive environment during the most of the 20th century, Swiss banks' dominance of and leadership in private banking was based on Switzerland's political neutrality and its banks' commitment to secrecy, as well as their image of reliability and financial soundness. Swiss dominance in private banking has been challenged by both major international investment banks and leading universal banking franchises around the world. So always we are just hearing about the Swiss banks and the private banking systems. Some of the deposits, the huge ones, are just deposited in this kind of banks. So what is the competition in private banking? It is fierce, involving not only the world's major international banks, but also most leading private sector banks from around the world, including Banco Itaú from Brazil and Nordea from Sweden, and non-bank providers of wealth management services such as Charles Schwab and Fidelity from the United States. In private banking, you don't have any luxury for making any mistakes, because for this kind of clients, they are just face to face, or they have some special communication with their private customer services, which we call them customer representatives. And you have to follow for each kind of transaction, each kind of facilities, products, services for your client. So you have to be careful about these kind of clients. If we will give examples for competition, in our book, Banco Itaú and Nordea Bank is given as an example. Banco Itaú organized along 5 major lines of business: retail commercial banking, consumer finance, wholesale banking, wealth management, and insurance, and ranking among the world's top 10 banks in market capitalization. Nordea Bank organized around 3 major business lines: retail banking, wholesale banking, and wealth management, and it was elected best private bank in Nordic region by the 2010 and 2011 according to the Euromoney surveys on private banking. Let us just check out the UBS Bank, a global approach to private banking. In your book, you can find the brief story about the bank, organization, and 2011 performance, wealth management at UBS Bank. You can read the details in the book chapter. Another topic, international consumer banking. The provision of commercial banking services to individuals located in foreign countries. The centerpiece of retail banking was the branch where a customer would go to make a deposit, request a loan, or execute a commercial transaction. So the headquarters of these kind of banks was originated in other countries, but they just opened branches in order to just give services to their special clients, private clients. So we can give an example like in Turkey, the foreign banks like HSBC, ING, BNP Paribas. Going overseas in retail banking, how therefore can a bank use its perceived strength relative to the existing competition, product offering, risk management capabilities, pricing, distribution schemes, institutional image to penetrate a foreign consumer banking market in order to achieve acceptable levels of sustained profitability within a reasonable time. So if we check out the reasonable time, what are the client's needs and how they are quick to give services and just give the needs to its clients. What are the scale of operations? They have two main scales. The first one is the lowering in many countries, but still not all of regulatory barriers, including permission to open branches and acquire domestic franchises, and technological change driving the adoption by all banks of more commoditized and depersonalized financial services. I can give you an example, like when you go to HSBC branch in London, you cannot find anybody for serving you. You can see the ATM machines, and for just making deposit or just withdraw your money, you have to use these machines. So you can ask a personnel there, like information desk, and they can help you. So you have to just adopt your foreign branch in another country with technological services and the change, and maybe the borders are just limited. But nowadays it's not just too much, because you can use your mobile banking, you can use your internet banking, so the borders are not there. So it's important for serving to your clients with the capabilities of this technologic innovation. Private banking. Cross-border individual retail banking poses substantially different institutional challenges from private banking. Private banking customers perceive the foreign bank as a passport to the world. Why? Because it's important for the client, the customer, to have a deposit or an account in one of the best banks in the world. So it shows that you are reliable, you are dependable, so your bank just analyzed you, so you are one of the special private customer or client for these banks. Banks in different services. More global retail banking strategy by Citibank, HSBC, and Banco Santander. These are the banks that have branches in other countries, and they are more global in retail banking. The other ones that are given as an example in our book are used strategy for international retail banking. The names are BNP Paribas, UniCredit, Commerzbank toward selected countries in Europe, O Banco Italia toward Latin America, and O Toronto Dominion toward the United States. So these banks are just defer their services in strategy for international retail banking. So they are more international banks. Internationalization of retail personal banking activities. UniCredit Group from Italy just focus on regionally. ING Group from Netherlands, greenfield niche penetration. Acquisition driven with Banco Santander from Spain. What is consumer finance by internationalization challenges? Basic concepts in consumer lending. Consumer loans usually are either general purpose or asset specific. So you have to just organize your loans according to the needs of the customer. General purpose loans are credit facilities that are not tied to any specific consumption or investment objective, but simply contribute to an individual's overall cash flow needs. This can be for the payments, maybe for the bills, or maybe you want to buy something for your house, for your needs. So this can be the type of the loans that you need. Consumer loans are typically short-term, under 1 year, or revolving, and tend to carry a floating rate of interest. For example, current account overdraft and credit card facilities. For your overdraft, you can use it either in a month or not longer than 1 year. So you are not just sure about the interest rate because they are floating. So you don't know what will be the total interest at the end because your bank can change it according to the market conditions. But they can also be of a medium-term nature, installment of credit loans, often backed by some type of collateral, such as home equity loans, where the equity a customer has on a home is given as a guarantee to the bank. So the interest rates can also change according to the collaterals that are given for the bank. Like if you want to buy a house or a home, you have to just give your house as guarantee, and it must be insured also because that's the collateral for bank. If you couldn't pay any installments, there will be some issues, and according to the agreements, the bank can manage it and then it can sell it and just finish the limit or the loan, close the loan that is given for your house. So the interest rate pricing is really important for the collaterals. For example, if you will give a cash collateral, the price, the interest rate will be according to the amount that you will give to the bank as a deposit. International credit cards. We have lots of credit cards, and some of them especially are international. And in your book, the case of American Express was given, but we know some of the names which are international. The credit card is a 20th century American innovation. Its origins can be traced to the early 90s, when sales personnel in US department stores began to give cards to their wealthier clients as a means to facilitate their immediate recognition as charge account customers. In the early 1920s, oil companies began to issue courtesy cards to be given by service station managers to their most frequent and trusted customers. A practice hotel chains as well as airlines began to follow. As I said, a global approach to credit cards. The case of American Express is given in your book, so please read it there in details. Amex, the American Express company, entered the charge card business as a way to protect itself from the potential threat credit cards could pose to its travelers' check business. So if we will summarize this chapter, we just have a look for international private banking, and we examined how the shift there, the resulting stronger demands on private bankers, the fierce competitive environment in international private banking, a global trend for banks, and we analyzed some cases for the banks. For the retail banking and consumer finance, we examined the challenge of international in consumer banking, the alternative approaches to international personal retail banking penetration, the internationalization challenges of consumer lending, the process of internationalization of credit card companies, and we just check out the American Express case. That's the end of our chapter 3.